A man is placed upon the steps, a baby cries. High above you can hear the church bells start to ring. Oh, the heaviness of the body, oh, it settles in. Somewhere you hear a mother sing. That's one foot, then the other as you step out on the road, on the winding road. How long and how far, how many times, ooh, before it's too late. Calling Sarah.
Oh, okay, here I am.
Calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through this one, don't leave me alone. Calling all angels, calling all angels. We're trying, we're hoping, but we're not sure how this goes.
Okay. It'll be great. Okay. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. That was lovely. Thank you. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces on this beautiful morning. I'm Sarah Benson, and this is my husband, Doug, and we're going to get started with a couple of songs. If you'd like to stand, you may, and yeah, let's make a joyful noise. Hello, it's great to see you. Hey, friend, you're not alone. Come in, our hearts are open. Welcome home. Come on, the Spirit's moving. Our love is here to grow. Wake up, our coffee's brewing. My place. This is your place. This is our place. Welcome home. Hello, it's great to see you. Hey, friend, you're not alone. Come in, our hearts are open. Come home, come on, the Spirit's moving, our love is here to grow. Wake up, our coffee's brewing. Welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. My God. And And I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God. And I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Of God, my God, of God, my God.
Beautiful. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in the heart of Las Cruces, where our vision is a world in loving partnership for the good of all. I want to welcome anyone who's visiting for the first time. We do have visitor packets, and hopefully you were greeted by somebody at the door this morning that could give you one of those. We're so grateful to have you here. I want to thank everyone who's already signed up for the Southern New Mexico Pride. We're going to have a table, actually 2 tables, but we could use more help, so the sign-up's out there, and if you haven't signed up and you feel like that's something you'd like to attend and be a part of, please do so. Carrie's waving in the back. She's heading that up, so let her know if you want to help, but there's a sign-up sheet as well. We do have a board meeting today after the service, and our meetings are open, so you're welcome to stay and attend if you would like to. And I heard there was a fabulous concert in here yesterday. Yeah. Yay, good. And we have another one coming up next Saturday at 7:30. The Scottish-Irish Music Concert will be here, and there are tickets in the bookstore for that as well. And there's also still room in Sharon's art class. So she said for me to encourage you all, if you want to still take that art class, you can sign up for that in the social hall too. And what else? We've got our yard sale. People are asking me about that, so we picked a date. Hold on to your stuff until October 9th, and then we'll start collecting and sorting, and we will have the sale October 28th. And we're waiting till October 9th because Singing Out will have their concert that weekend right before that, and we don't want all this stuff in here while they have their concert. So please hold on as long as you can till October 9th at the very earliest, and then we'll have our yard sale. And I also have a card here. I'm sure the word has probably gotten out, but Kay Brilliant's mother, Virginia, 103 years old, sailed off with the Blue Moon this last month. So we want to give this card to Kay, and if you knew her and you'd like to sign it, please feel free. I have this, and we'll put it on the table as well. So we have a lot to celebrate today. We have people that have received class certificates from our last class, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life, and we're in the process of our next class, From Whence We Came. So if you haven't taken a class yet, talk to these folks, see what they think. But Carrie Porter, would you please come forward? She took the class, our board president. Oh, I thought Sharon Bray's not here today. Edie, come on up. Yeah, just stay up for a second. Yay! Kay-Ann. And then we have folks, Patricia Goodwin zoomed in from Alamogordo, Christy Kemp came, and who else is here? Alice Poole, and Alice is off with her daughter who's getting ready to get married. So anyway, we had a nice big class. We got 3 of you here today. Congratulations. Good job. And today we have 2 people joining our center. We're very excited about that. One already got his name tag because he joined last month and he wanted to be able to have everyone know who he was, but we want him to go through the ceremony as well. So this is a joyous occasion when we formally welcome new members to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. So what does it mean to be a member? And I'll just encourage you all to think along with me. If you've joined already, just commit to this. It is a commitment to spiritual growth in an atmosphere of freedom to grow spiritually at your own pace and to evolve your own working philosophy of ideas and beliefs. It is a commitment to building a life of joy, ease, and love in an environment where we recognize and embrace the importance of spiritual community in supporting and empowering our personal journey. What naturally flows is the growth of our community. It is an affirmation of alignment with the philosophy and teachings of the science of mind. It is an open statement of one's belief that their spiritual center is of great value personally. It is having a sense of ownership in our center and expressing that ownership through sharing of time, talent, and treasure. And so we want to recognize that this is what these individuals are doing as they join with us today. I will ask, I still think Bob's our board president. Carrie, please come forward as our board president. He's like, no. And I would like our new members, Waithira and Mike Ferris, please come forward. And Waithira, you're going to have to tell me how to say Kinuthia. All right, Waithira Kinuthia. Okay, so this is both a joyous occasion and a contemplative one. By choosing to become a member of the center, you are making a commitment to grow spiritually and to focus this growth in fulfilling your dreams. For this is a place that believes that the spiritual power we seek already lives within us, eager to be discovered and expressed. Do you declare your commitment to grow spiritually and express this growth in fulfilling your dreams? If so, please say, I do. You have each responded to this call of spirit whose desire it is to express its greatness and magnificence through you and to grow and expand your spiritual community. You are living proof that when spirit has a desire, its creation automatically responds. You are living, breathing demonstrations of God in action right here in the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. In the words of Ernest Holmes, our founder, the essence of our teaching is that all is God's or spirit, and God or spirit is all there is. As you believe, so it is done unto you. Our duty in life is to love and live fully. And when you change your thinking, you change your life. By becoming a member, you are committing yourself to further exploring this universal truth teaching, this pathway that Ernest Holmes chose to call religious science or science of mind, a teaching that is now known through its centers for spiritual living. Do you declare your commitment to the study and application of this universal truth teaching as you have come to understand it? By becoming a member, you are helping to make a difference in the world, and you are joining with like-minded people all over the world who share a common vision. You are joining people of all faiths that fully embody the truth teachings that are shared across all religions, ancient and new. CSL here in Las Cruces is a place where people grow, and we do that by teaching and practicing the universal spiritual principles captured in the science of mind, and we live our vision, a world in loving partnership for the good of all. Do you support this vision? Our desire is to live fully and consciously through inspiration, education, spiritual community, and service. And we do this through 5 main spiritual practices: receptive prayer or meditation, affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment, spiritual study, service, and conscious giving. Do you support and hold in your heart the desire to live life fully in this way? We are a spirit-centered community of light, love, and laughter that honors and celebrates the many paths to God. We celebrate the diversity of all people, all religions, and all walks of life. Do you support and celebrate life in this way? Please sign our membership book, and you can help them, and give Waithira her name tag, please. Yay. Go ahead and sign our book. Mm-hmm. And welcome. We'll give you each a welcome on board. Okay. Okay. So hold on, you're not done. I grabbed her. You now have the rights and responsibilities of voting members of the spiritual community. We encourage you to attend our annual business meeting, which takes place in May, and then you can cast your vote there, and our visioning sessions to contribute to the overall vision and direction of this center. And so now I want to ask all of you as their community, so stand as you are able. Do you agree to be these new members' spiritual family, to welcome them and support them on this journey to which they have just committed? I do. Thank you. In recognition of the commitment that you have made to your spiritual growth and to the growth of our center, it is our joy to welcome you into our spiritual family. And so I will encourage you, please introduce yourselves to our new members after the service in the social hall. Welcome. Yay. Yes, after. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're so excited. It's always wonderful to have new people join us. And so now we get to welcome our practitioner in service, Bob Greer.
All right. All right, I'm back.
Yay!
Welcome, you two. Glad you're here. Thank you for participating with us. All right, my name is Bob Greer. I'm a practitioner, your practitioner today. I'm about 80% here. So here at the center, we believe in the power of prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. Prayer requests can be found on the backs of the chairs in front of you. Unless you're on the front row, then you'll have to reach around. And if you have a need of a prayer, we have several different ways you could do it. You could fill out a prayer request. We have a prayer chest, God can, whatever you want to call it, that little wooden box back there. You can leave it there, or you could leave it in the offering plate on your way out. The other more high-tech way is that you can log on to our website, and there's actually a prayer request form there that you can click on, fill out, and it gets sent automatically to one practitioner, which is right now Teresa, and then she puts all of this together. Every Tuesday, the practitioners that can from our center join with practitioners from the other New Thought centers in town, and we spend time in prayer for each one of those prayer requests. And your request is automatically goes in for a 2-week cycle. And if you need more, just let us know. Also, at the end of service, if you need to have a few moments of prayer treatment, we are available. Those, Judy and I think, are here today. And we'd be happy to give you, that's our purpose here, is to pray for you and with you. And with that, I think it's time for song, silence, and prayer.
Oh boy. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to do a group chant, so this is not going to just be me. It'll be a simple text. The text is, grace is my path, love lights my way, every step reveals my highest good. And it'll be a simple tune. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to sing it repetitively, and as soon as you kind of get the hang of it, join in. And there's something powerful about the words, the thoughts that we express in words, and Sometimes singing them can even touch the heart in a deeper way. So just let the song do whatever it needs to do in you. And if you don't feel comfortable singing, then just speak. And it doesn't have to be, wonderful music. That's not the point. It's to share this together. So I'm going to start and join in. Grace is my path, love lights my way. Every step reveals my highest good. Grace is my path, love lights my way. Every step reveals my highest good. Grace is my path, love lights my way. Every step reveals my highest good. Grace is my path, love lights my way. Every step reveals my highest good. Grace is my path, love lights my way. Every step reveals my highest good. Grace is my path, love lights my way. Every step reveals my highest good. Every step reveals my highest good.
And just continuing in that energy that has just been so beautifully set in this room. I open to that truth, that each one of us is a divine being connected to that source, that each one of us is a spark of the divine, that we breathe and move and have our way with that spark of divine, of divinity. And I know that each one of them is guided and blessed. I know that everything unfolds in this day and in this time in perfect divine right order. So grateful for the opportunity to be able to be together here this morning and to just know that there is nothing but God, and that all we need to do is let go and let God. And I simply say, and so it is. I didn't even think. Do we have a reading? I don't have a reading. All right. Well, there was some really great reading, but I left it at home. Okay. So we'll just pass it on. Thank you.
I guess this will be the reading. This song is called Live in Love. It's by Sky Nelson.
I'm gonna live in love. I'm gonna do what it takes to let go. I'm gonna take my seat and let love run the show. Everything that I look at, I get attached. But I'm not gonna let measure the wounds of my past. For it's me that will lose if I choose to resent what I have. But since I've got another chance, I'm gonna live in love. I'm gonna do what it takes to let go. I'm gonna take my seat and let love run the show.
Everything that I look at, I get sucked in. And I'm already miles beyond it by the time I begin. And the details of the moment are already past. But
since I've got another chance, I'm gonna live in love. I'm gonna do what it takes to let go. I'm gonna take my seat and let love run the show. I'm gonna hold your heart, precious as anything that I know. I'm gonna take my seat and let love run the show. Do what it takes to let go. I'm gonna take my seat and let love run the show. Oh, I'm gonna hold your heart, precious as anything that I know. I'm gonna take my seat and let love run the show. I'm gonna take my seat and let love run the show.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sarah and Doug. And I'm going to brag on Sarah. The piece that we did, the chant going into our time of silence, she wrote that. I know she doesn't like to brag on herself, so I have to do it for her. We loved it. She brought it to class Thursday, and we said, we got to do that in the service. So I thought it was absolutely beautiful, wasn't it? Very nice. Well, today we have one of our favorites back, Reverend Randy Granger, who is an ordained minister with the Universal Life Seminaries, a motivational speaker, educator, workshop leader, professional musician, and licensed massage therapist. Of Native American ancestry, Randy lives right here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. He also practices the science of mind teaching, Zen meditation, and sound healing. So welcome back, Reverend Randy Granger.
good morning. Good morning to you on Zoom as well. It's okay, Bob. In case you may not know, Bob's been dealing with this side of COVID, and so that he's here. He's totally clean, but the fact that he's here is wonderful. We appreciate you, 80% and all. I really like, I don't know if you guys got the idea that the theme this month is love. There's been a lot of love all over the place. Sprinkling, raining love. I love it. I like that chant that Sarah started us with. I completely agree with the power of words and the power of what we say manifests into who we are. So I'm going to do a little call and response here. I'm going to say something, and if you can, if you're comfortable enough, just repeat it back out loud. If you're not, just say it to yourself. Here's the first one. I am loved.
I am loved.
I do love.
I do love.
I walk in love.
I walk in love.
I live in love.
I live in love.
I love out loud, which is the theme of this month. I love out loud. I deserve to love and to be loved.
I deserve to love and to be loved.
Now here's the hardest one. I love myself unconditionally.
I love myself
Unconditionally. You ever notice how hard it is to practice loving when you're feeling defensive or attacked, maybe humiliated, or when you're confronted by critics, or as we call them nowadays, the haters? Rather than ignore, insult, or argue, we have to make an effort to engage them in a respectful and welcoming manner, or as the Dalai Lama says, we must practice warm-heartedness. Now, I have a YouTube channel, and I told myself a long time ago, do not read the comments before noon. You have these people who are online who like to drive by and leave comments to try to get you going, and they did. It worked for a while, and so now I don't read them before noon because I want my day to be a good one. I like to structure my day before. But the Dalai Lama says about warm-heartedness, the ultimate source of a happy life is warm-heartedness. This means that extending to others the kind of concern we have for ourselves. On a simple level, we find that if we have a compassionate heart, we naturally have more friends. And scientists today are discovering that while anger and hatred eat at our immune system, warm-heartedness and compassion are good for our health. Those are the words spoken by the Dalai Lama about warm-heartedness. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to become a martyr, my friends. When I began my exploration into New Thought readings a few decades ago, I came across this phrase, and it said, if you look deep enough at any situation, you will find love. If you look deep enough at any situation, you will find love. I thought, at that time in my life, I thought, yeah, right. Have you met my neighbors? Right, Spirit? Let's talk. But it took me many years after looking through all the rubbish and the cruelty of people to realize that I was looking on the outside for this love. And I realized I needed to look inside to find that love. Then I could see it there, too, on the outside. In The Seed of the Soul, Gary Zukav writes, if you are unkind to yourself, you will be unkind to others. It's only by feeling compassion for yourself that you can feel compassion for others. If you cannot love yourself, you cannot love others, and you cannot stand to see others loved. Same thing with self-kindness. In other words, loving others, or how you treat yourself, is your own dose of your own medicine that you really give to others at the same time. So when you do kind things for yourself and learn what it is to be able to love yourself, you can look at others who desperately need kindness and love, and you can see what it takes for them to maybe feel that way, maybe help them. But you learn to do that, like not in a patronizing way, but in a truly genuine and appreciative way that you want others to be happy. This is the energy and perception of our soul. When there is no compassion or guilt or remorse or anger or sorrow, that is the opportunity to heal the soul. It's often been said, and it's kind of controversial, but hurt people do indeed hurt other people. Hurt people hurt other people. And every time that I learn of an act of violence or I see some injustice in the world, I ask myself, where is the love? This past week, driving into town on Highway 70, right across from Lowe's, I noticed that the right lane was blocked, and so went around. I looked over and I noticed there was a 3 or 4 car wreck. And I looked over and immediately, I thought, oh my gosh, my first thought was, I wonder whose fault that was, who was on their phone. Then I caught myself and I said, no. So I said a little prayer of grace. And then I looked, and on the curb was a dog lying there, whimpering, and I could hear it from the car. And I saw this man whose car had been pushed down into the ponding rock area. And he got out of his car stumbling, and blood was coming from his head, and he immediately goes to the dog, and he starts comforting the dog, and broke my heart. And so I thought, okay, say some grace on this scene. And fortunately, at that same time, a state trooper that I had noticed a little earlier pulled up right behind them. And so I thought, okay, good. The best thing I can do right now is to say some grace, say some prayer, and to move on. So it's easy to find compassion and love in that situation when we naturally feel that the empathy. But people like the Dalai Lama, going back to him, he and his people have been persecuted by the Chinese government since his teenage years. And the Dalai Lama to this day prays for the leaders of China every morning that they would lead a good and happy life. His advice being, when you're treated with contempt, practice warm-heartedness. This might sound like a soft and weak advice, but what the Dalai Lama has taught is that being a person of warm-heartedness, in fact, requires greater strength and toughness. The Dalai Lama told an audience of the people must stop thinking of we and them and they, which is the basis of violence. And he has this great quote. He says, peace doesn't come from the sky, He said, who creates the problems? We human beings, over 8 million human beings. 8 million human brothers and sisters, we have to live together. Anything else is just not sustainable. So what I call compassionate cooperation, I think really is going to benefit us most. So how do we extend this love out to others? As the writer Arthur Brooks calls it, he says, gratitude is a contempt killer. Now what he means, gratitude is a contempt killer. You can't hold gratitude and contempt for someone at the same time. There's no shortage of research showing that when people choose to express gratitude, that we become happier as people. So on a practical level, showing gratitude for all those will make us feel better, make us more persuasive, make us more effective. But it will also improve your individual well-being. What I've learned, to misappropriate Thomas Merton, is thank you is a complete prayer. So as we bridge the gap of separation between us, as we become closer, anxiety is reduced, fear is reduced, insecurity is reduced, and compassion increases. Trust develops, which leads to self-confidence and the ability to be transparent and vulnerable because there's no longer any fear involved. Going back to my neighbors that I said, Spirit, you don't know my neighbors. Well, over a while, it took a little bit of work, but I met them where they were. I learned to love them where they were. And eventually we became, I wouldn't say friends, but non-enemies. And so at least we had a compassionate cooperation, and that was a good thing. Ernest Holmes in Richer Living, he says, compassion and caring are the ties that bind us together in mutual understanding and in the unified attempt to uncover the divinity in each other. So compassion for all beings is probably the most challenging choice that we can make. But how do we actually change others? How do we change other people? I mean, isn't that what relationships are about? I love you if you could be this way. Guess what we have to change? Ourselves. There's this Hawaiian practice, God bless the Hawaiians right now, especially on Maui, of ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is this idea that when you have a problem with somebody, you pray to change yourself. You're thinking about them. There was this researcher, and he was running this rehab kind of center for ex-cons, and he was noticing that some of them were really, really bad. It was like a halfway house. And so he, every night after he saw his patients, what he would do, he would get that folder out, and he would look at the person, all of their wrongs and their ills and the crimes that they had committed, and he would pray to change his perception about them. And this is great. The more he changed his perception about them, guess who changed? They changed. I don't know how that works. It's Ho'oponopono Island magic, but I love it. What a great concept. The Ho'oponopono message is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And there's even songs. You go on YouTube, it's like ukulele and just sings that the whole time. So that's a beautiful way if you have some trouble with somebody. So one way of looking at compassion is that it is the heartbeat of our shared humanity. that moves us to see, to heal, and respond to the suffering of ourselves and others with fierce care. I love that. Ernest Holmes, in The Art of Life, he writes, love is natural. Hate is unnatural. It is natural to have confidence in the universe. There is one power and one presence back of and in everything, he wrote. This power and this presence must become real to him, meaning the person. He must learn to sense in the persons and its in events. He must learn to sense it in the persons and in events. In other words, the power and the presence. He writes, we tend to become like that which we identify the self. You have to remember, he wrote that in like the 1930s, so it was a slightly different way. But I understand what he was saying was that we tend to, who we say we are, we tend to become. Mahatma Gandhi said, the only devils in the world are the ones running around in our own hearts. That's where the battle must be fought, he says. There's a story of this teacher, and it tells about learning of compassion and self-grace. Her story, she says, I was a young Catholic and I was inspired by all the saints. I'd always wanted to do things and like to work with Mother Teresa in India, but most of my life had not been so glamorous. After college, I became a teacher at an elementary school. That's glamour. My mother was one, so. and she writes, and then my mother had a stroke and I had to drop out of teaching and help her take care of her for 2 years, bathe her, care for her bed sores, cook, pay the bills, run the house. At times I wanted to run away and complete these responsibilities and get back to my spiritual life. Then one morning it dawned on me, I was doing the work of Mother Teresa, and it was in my own home. Watch what you ask for. Or as we say sometimes, be specific. So Jack Kornfield, in his great book, one of my go-to books, After Ecstasy, The Laundry. Okay, go somewhere else. There's some donuts out there. Oh, yeah. I saw he was bugging you earlier. Gets around. I'm sorry, getting back to this. So Jack Kornfield tells a story of a man who, see, she had the right idea with that fan. Jack Kornfield tells a story of a man who ran a juvenile rehabilitation center in D.C. And most of the youths that he worked with were gang members who had committed serious crimes like homicide. One 14-year-old boy in this program had shot and killed an innocent teen to prove himself to the rest of the gang. And at the trial, the victim's mother sat impassively silent until the end. When the youth was convicted of the killing, after the verdict was announced, she stood up and she stared slowly at this young man, and she said, I'm going to kill you. Then the youth was taken away to serve several years in the juvenile facility. After about 6 months or so, the mother of the slain boy went to visit his killer. Now, he had been living on the streets before the killing, and she was the only visitor that he'd ever had. And for a time, they talked, and when she got up to leave, she gave him some money for some cigarettes. Then she started step by step to visit him more regularly, bringing him food and small gifts. And near the end of this 3-year sentence, she asked him what he'd like to be doing when he got out. Well, he said he was confused and uncertain and had no idea. So she offered to help set him up with a job at a friend's company. Then she asked about, where are you going to live? And since he had no family to return to, he said, I don't know. She offered him temporary use of a spare room in her home. And for 8 months, he lived there, ate her food, worked at his job. Then one evening, she called him into the living room and she said, hey, I need to talk to you. She waited a long while till it became uncomfortable. And she said, you remember in the courtroom when I said I was going to kill you? He says, I sure do. I'll never forget that moment as long as I live. She said, well, I did. I did want that boy who would kill my son for no reason to not remain alive on this earth. I wanted him to die. That's why I started to visit you and bring you things. That's why I got you this job. That's why I let you live in my house. And that's how I set about changing you. And that old boy, He's gone. So now I want to ask you, since my son is gone and since that killer is gone, I'm going to ask you if you'll stay here. I've got a room and I'd like to adopt you, if you let me. So she became the mother of her son's killer, the mother he never had. To me, that's an example of loving out loud in a really distinct way. We as humans, we need each other. We need each other as givers and teachers and lovers and lessons and storytellers and sounding boards, companions. We cannot survive alone. Nature, our bodies are made of interdependent systems, relying on one another constantly. Practice gratitude for them first. I try to remind myself to do that every morning, thanking my heart for pumping the blood, thanking for my cells for turning the food I ate into flesh and bone. I think the 10 million cells that died in that second, and now the ones that are born in the other second, are being created. In other words, constantly evolving so that I could be here today and function. I try to thank them first, and then I move on to the plumbing and the sky, the way my bed feels, my home, the earth, and the 5 turtles who inhabit my backyard and come at my back door expecting me to feed them. Don't worry, I feed them. But there's so much to be grateful for, so much to be thankful about. But we have to extend that gratitude out to each other and then into the cosmos. What is needed is a compassionate cooperation. Recently, I saw a photo of a rainbow. You may have seen this, a photo of a rainbow appearing over the burned out cars in Maui. Did any of you see that photo? Oh, it showed the burned out cars and then a rainbow was behind it. So, there was a photographer that happened to get it after that devastating fire. And it reminded me of this great story of the hummingbird and the jaguar. According to an old Native American legend, one day there was a big fire in the forest. All the animals fled in terror in all directions because it was a very fast-moving and violent fire, much like the one in Maui. Suddenly the jaguar saw a hummingbird pass over his head, but in the opposite direction. The hummingbird was flying back towards the fire. Whatever happened, he wouldn't stop. Flames licking up and smoke and kept going. The jaguar saw the hummingbird pass over again, this time in the same direction as the jaguar leaving. And he could observe this coming and going and coming and going until he finally decided to ask the bird about it, which seemed really bizarre. So he asked the hummingbird, "What are you doing, hummingbird?" "I'm going to the lake," he answered. "I drink the water with my beak and I throw it onto the fire to extinguish it." The jaguar laughs. "Are you crazy, man? What do you really think? You can put out that big fire with your tiny little beak? Come on, leave like the rest of us." The hummingbird, just sitting there, and he says, No, I can't. I know I have to go, but I can't because the forest is my home. It feeds me. It shelters me and my family, and I'm grateful for that. And I help the forest grow by pollinating it. I am part of her, and the forest is part of me. I know I can't put out the fire, but I still have to do my part. I must do my part. And at that moment, the forest spirits who were listening, they were so moved by the hummingbird's story and the devotion to the forest that they summoned up the clouds and miraculously they sent a torrential downpour, put an end to the great fire so the inhabitants could return. Now, when the Native American grandmothers tell this story to their grandchildren, they would say, "Do you want to attract miracles in your life, grandchild?" And they would say, "Yes." They would say, "Well, you must do your part then, as we must do our part in the compassionate cooperation, so that 7 generations from now, they can be talking about us. They can be talking about what we did, what decisions that we made that allows them to be here today." I'd like to end with a quote by the late Wayne Dyer. And he said, "Love is my gift to the world. I fill myself with love, and I send that love out into the world. How others treat me is their path. How I react is mine." So it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Randy. Excellent. And so the practitioners are going to stand up and do their part as they hold us in love. And we're going to do our part as we take that message into our hearts and just contemplate, what is our part today? What is Spirit wanting to do in and through us? What do we feel called to do? Even if it seems as little as a drop of water from a hummingbird's beak, what is ours to do? And so as we open our hearts and minds to that, we know that is Spirit moving in and through each one of us as love. We find within ourselves how it is that we are being called to love out loud in this very moment. That is the core of our being. That is the essence of who we are. That is God in action in our lives. And so with deep gratitude, I just know that each one of us is opening our hearts and minds to that inner calling, that source of love that wants to move through us right now today. And so we give thanks for this message, for the metaphors, for the stories, the laughter, and the deep contemplation as we think about compassionate cooperation. Compassionate cooperation. How it is that we can cooperate to bring more compassion into the world. And so I know that each one of us, as we connect to that, we find all those things to be grateful for. And so in this moment, I'm grateful for this time and place, for this center, for the opportunity to be inspired to open to these ideas and thoughts and allow them to move in my life as I see them moving in the lives of all those here, those that watch us online, and we see it spreading throughout the world. I give thanks for Reverend Randy, his words, his music, and all those that are here today to support this message. We just release these words, allowing it to be that deeper truth and deeper calling as we open to loving out loud and letting it be. And so it is.
This is my arrangement of a song by Jane Siberry, and I want to send this out to my former neighbor, Virginia, and her 103-plus self. Beautiful soul. And joining me is another angel over here, Sarah Benson. Man is placed upon the steps of baby cries. High above you can hear the church bells start to ring. And the heaviness of the body, oh, it settles in. Somewhere you hear a mother start to sing. Then it's one foot, then the other as you step out on the road, that long and winding road. Then it's how far and how long, how many times, oh, before it's too late. Calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through this one, don't leave me alone. Calling all angels, calling all angels. We're trying, we're hoping, but we're not sure how this goes. Every day you gaze upon the sunset with such love. It's almost if you could only crack the code, you'd finally understand what this all means. But if you could, do you think you would trade in all the pain and suffering? Oh, but then you would have missed the beauty of the light upon this earth. and the sweetness of believing, calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through this one, don't leave me alone, calling all angels, calling all angels. We're trying, we're hoping, but we're not sure how.
Calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through this one, don't leave me alone. Calling all angels, calling all angels.
We're trying, we're hoping, we're hurting and we're loving, we're crying, we're calling, 'cause we're not sure how this all goes, calling all angels. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank
That
you,
was
Randy.
beautiful. Sounded like angels, didn't it? And it just reminded me, earlier this week, Sandy Adler, who has been a member here for a long time, got moved to a supportive, not supportive living, a more intensive care place. Let's just put it that way. So we had to clear out her room from the place that she had just moved to about a month ago. And Carrie brought her truck. We were going to move all that stuff. And this gentleman came and helped us. And we're so grateful because we were lifting all of these boxes into the back of Carrie's truck. And Tina yells to him when she's done, we're like, "Thank you so much, you're an angel." And he turned around and said, "I believe in angels." But he certainly was an angel, and he was a minister from another center, and we chatted it up, and I was just so grateful he showed up at the right time. So that calling out the angels is calling all of us. We are the angels in each other's lives, and we do show up exactly when we're needed, where we're needed. So again, Randy, thank you for your talk this morning, the inspiration. Thank you so much. And for the angels that are sitting in this room, the 2 new angels that joined our community, thank you, Waithira and Mike. It's so good to have you be a part of us. And I'm so glad you're back and healthy. So, as we are thinking about the angels and all that we have, we think about what it is that we give and what we allow to flow through this center. And this month we are giving to Mesilla Valley Community of Hope, Tents to Rents, their program that's mission is to promote dignity and empowerment among the homeless population by providing shelter services, case management, income support, and permanent housing programs in Las Cruces and Doñana County, New Mexico. Their vision is a world in which there is no homelessness. And so we support them in that vision, and 10% of all that comes through the center this month is going to support them. And there's it written for you. So let's just say our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, in me. And so it is. And we will sing, I Am So Blessed. And I hope you feel it this morning, because I sure feel blessed this morning.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful.
grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So just take that in and be that little hummingbird with your drops of water out there. So let's just stand and sing our closing song. Remember, the practitioners are here to pray with you after the service if there's anything you would like support in your lives. And are we singing?
We're singing Go Out and Shine.
Go out and shine.
Again,
This
yeah.
is perfect for this month. Loving out loud.
Okay.
Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Ooh. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. Come on and go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine.
Go out and shine your light. Wonderful.
I love your socks. Those are so cute.